Da, 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 da. Hello, family. Hello. Welcome, everybody. I have to go get my water. You like my lamp? Thank you. You like the lamp? Okay, we're gonna get into Megan Fox, and I'm just moving this around so you guys can see me. Paired with the green girl, look at Listen, I gotta show you guys. Wait, hold on. Let me show you how my place is coming together, honey. Wait a minute. So look at, I got my little TV set up. Look at it. I put this together. I built this myself. Okay, I built this too. All right. So this is my little corner. Okay, that's my first Tiffany lamp. Okay, and then I built this one too. All right, and then look at this is my little study corner. Okay, this is my little reading corner right here. Alrighty, and then look at this. Look at this, family. So this was actually supposed to come not in the form of a poster. This was supposed to come framed because I thought that's what I paid for, but apparently I didn't. So I'm going to be looking for somebody else to frame this for me. Okay, and then I have some paintings coming in. So I'm gonna have some paintings that are gonna go up here. And then, as you guys know, my little Jesus. I got my Jesus painting. Okay. And then, so these lamps, these are all Tiffany lamps. Yo, you guys, listen, I gotta do my Mars and Libra justice, okay? You know my Mars is in Libra and I have a 9th house Venus, so my place is gonna look like a church. I got these from Amazon actually. And then look at, I got my Last Supper. I decided to put my Last Supper in here. It was actually my grandma's idea. She's like, you need to be dining with Jesus. And so, yeah, a little tour of my place. The place is coming together. I got them from Amazon, the Tiffany lamps. I got them from Amazon, all the stained glass lamps. Okay, so we're going to be jumping into a chart read. Oh my gosh, we're going to be looking at this toxic ass Synastry, y'all. Okay, so we're going to pull up both of the charts. Like the floor, I know, right? Isn't it? Like, I love it. Like, this is meant to be the place that I'm at. Like, I've like fallen in love with my place as I've, gotten the furniture and designed it and put it together and like really, throw myself on the walls with all the paintings and stuff. Like, I've really settled into the space and I'm really loving it. So, we're going to get into their charts, but we're going to start first with, I believe we're going to start with Megan's chart. Yeah, because she's the more mature one. So let me pull this up. Yeah, come visit. No, please come visit. Come visit whenever you're ready. Please come visit. I have a whole blow-up bed that I keep. I have a storage space downstairs, which is super cool. But I have like this inflatable. It's like a I think it's a twin or a queen size bed that can easily fit in here. This place is huge. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna jump into. You don't claim her as a Taurus. Well, she's a Capricorn rising. So let's take a look at her. Okay, let's take a look at her. What we see with the pointed face and the like really intense beauty, like what we see with the tightness of her face, and like we're seeing the Mars on the rising when it comes to Megan Fox. So if you take a look at her first house of self-identity, the way she looks, her face, her body, she has Mars there. So she actually has she's a Martian. She's an alien. Okay, no, but she has a Mars type body. Like she's really slender. Her face is really tight. It's really pointed, right? And it's intense. Like when you look at her, you can't even see it. Like there's this fire. There's like this intensity that's coming through her energy and through her person because she has Mars directly on the ascendant. Right? So, and she has Mars exalted. So she's very powerful, very strong. You can feel that intense. That's even why she's done films that have been very dark. She did a demon film, Mars and Capricorn, the devil card. She did a movie where she was like possessed or something. Someone was saying that after she did that movie, it's like Jessica something. Let me pull up my laptop so I can pull up information on these people as well as we're doing this. She did a movie that was really scary and demonic though. And someone was telling me, oh, it's 12/12, make a wish. Someone was telling me, always, y'all, listen, always, the time, the divine numbers, the angel numbers, they speak to me. But she did Jennifer's Body. Yeah, she did a movie called Jennifer's Body. And they say that ever since she did that movie, like her personality changed. She started getting into more like deeper, darker, witchy type stuff. And so that's going to be the Capricorn influence, okay? That's the Mars on the rising. Also, she has an 8th house moon. So I know I pulled up the Placidus chart. So what we're looking at is the Placidus chart, okay? So you'll notice that if we look at all the slices of the pie going around, she has a huge 1st house. She also has a huge 2nd house. So, and she has a really strong Jupiter. So she has Jupiter and Pisces in the 2nd. So, she's abundant. She's blessed. She's also very spiritually connected. If you take a look, she has Jupiter in her 2nd house, sextile her rising. So she's very faithful. She's very spiritual. She has a connection to the divine. Looks like maybe her father. Yeah, I think her father, grandmother, mother, someone in the family is also very connected to spirit. But if we look at her house in whole sign, or look at her chart in whole sign, that puts her moon in the 8th house of the occult and of spirituality. I actually probably should have did this in whole sign, since I usually read charts in whole sign, but just bear with me, okay? We're good. But in whole sign, what we do is every sign gets a house. So the way I want you guys to look at this chart, sometimes I'm going to say her moon's in the 7th, or sometimes I'm going to say her moon's in the 8th. I want you to take a look at the signs on the outer wheel and look at those signs as individual houses. So for instance, her Capricorn rising is her 1st house, right? And then after that, we have Sagittarius. That's her 2nd house. We have Pisces, that's her 3rd house. We have Aries, that's her 4th house. So I want you to look at that like that too, okay? Because I'm going to be talking about her moon in the 8th house. The fact that her moon is in the 8th house and in Leo tells us that she's very needy, and that she's dealt with betrayal and deception from lovers and from men and from her father. Her father was her first kind of like heartbreak in some way. Like her father deceived her mother and like really broke her mother's heart. And we can see that in the chart, because the moon in the 8th house literally says that mom is traumatized by a relationship. She has emotional trauma. And also think about her chart, right? She's a Capricorn rising with Mars, and she has a moon in Leo, and she has a sun in Taurus. So she has a fixed sun and a fixed moon, and she has a very aggressive, cardinal, powerful rising. So she likes control. She loves to be in control. She's possessive. She's jealous. She needs to know where you're at. She needs to know what you're doing. Yeah, that makes sense that she had surgery. She has Mars on the rising. Mars rules surgery, right? So even if we think about it, her Mars being on the rising sign tells us she's going to have some cut to her face, some wounding to her face, a scar on her face, or she's going to get surgery in her lifetime. Because Mars, so people, if you have Mars in the 8th house or Mars in the 6th house, you're going to get surgery in your life probably at some point. Or you're going to deal with some kind of wound or some kind of pain or something, some kind of affliction. Mars is going to cut you and hurt you, I promise. Hold on, I'm going to pull up her thing real quick. I'm just pulling up her Wikipedia so I can kind of have her thing here. Oh, she's in the news too. She was in the news a day ago. So we had the moon go through Taurus. Check this out. So she was in the news. It says, Brian Austin Green praises Megan Fox as he slams ex Vanessa Marcil for claiming she raised their son alone. So she was in the news. She's been in the news because the moon was in Taurus, and she has a sun in Taurus. So, and it was going through her 5th house. But yeah, going back to her, of course she's going to have insecurities. Why? Because the ruler of her 1st house of self and identity, which is Saturn, she's a Capricorn rising ruled by Saturn. Saturn's in the 12th house of self-deception, self-deceit, self-sabotage. I hate myself. I don't like myself, right? I don't like my body. I don't like the way that I look. Folks that have Saturn ruling their 1st house, either they're an Aquarius rising, a Capricorn rising, or they have Saturn in the rising in the 1st house, self-hatred, Self-rejection, self-neglect is a real thing that these people experience. And they doubt themselves, right? They're insecure. Like they have to deal with a lot of like, I don't like myself. They have to learn to love themselves. Like folks that have Saturn influencing the rising, Capricorn, Aquarius rising, learn to love yourself. Learn to like embrace yourself, and don't be so judgmental or hard on yourself too, because these people, that Saturn energy also makes them very self-sacrificial. So she has the ruler of her rising in the 12th house of self-sabotage in foreign places, foreign lands too. That's also why like she's more of an international foreign lady. That also says that her dad in some way, she has karma and wounding around her father, 100%. The 10th house, if we put this in whole sign, she actually has the 10th house in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. And where's her Venus at? In Gemini. She has Venus. If this was whole sign, she would have Venus in the 6th house, but in Placidus, she has Venus in the 5th house of love and fun and play. And look at her Venus is opposite Uranus. So you know what that tells us? Her 10th house ruler of the father being in the 5th opposite Uranus is that her dad was inconsistent in her life. She craved for her dad to be consistent and be like a secure foundation for her in some way, but he wasn't. There was something random, something inconsistent. It could have been work related. It could have been he had another family. It could have been something like this. So she has this karma with men and like abandonment things, like being with men that are risky, being with men that are like, inconsistent, and then doing what her mom tried to do, which is like holding on, attaching, trying to control, trying to dominate in some way. One of her parents was the more controlling parent, and I think it's her mother. And the reason why is because if we count 4 houses away from her Capricorn rising, and if we put the 4th house of the mother in Aries, guess what? We have the North Node there. Extreme, intense, all-consuming, dominant, right? And then her 4th house of the mother in whole sign is ruled by that Mars in Capricorn, exalted. So mom is the businesswoman. Mom is the controlling one. Mom is intense. Even if we took with her chart in Placidus, we still have the Sun and Mercury in the 4th house of the mother. So her mom is like the financial foundation. Her mom actually comes through more like her dad. Like, I'm reading her mom feeling more like a father to her, like being there to support her, taking care of her, but also being a little distant, being a little cold. Mom was a little selfish, right? Women that have a moon in Leo, like their mother tends to be more into themselves. Their mothers, listen, moon in Leo, mom could be a narc, straight up. Especially when the moon in Leo's in the 8th house. So her mom could have emotionally guilted her, okay, made her feel bad. Her mom's probably codependent on her. I guarantee you that Megan Fox gives her mom money or takes care of her mom in some way. I know it. She has a moon in the 8th house. When you have a moon in the 8th house or the 2nd house, you're going to be financially, karmically entangled with your family, with your mother, or in some way. Okay? Same thing with the sun. If you have the sun in the 2nd house, the sun in the 8th house, your father, something with your family, there's going to be some kind of financial entanglement with money and some karmic stuff with money that she's here to clear out and here to figure out. And she's here to do that with her mother, right? But with the moon in Leo in the 7th house, this does make her crave relationship. This does make her crave partnership. So if we're looking at Megan Fox's chart from the perspective of what kind of lover should she date, what kind of lover should she be with, it makes sense that she would get with Machine Gun Kelly. Okay, he's a Taurus. All right, so she's a Taurus, he's a Taurus, and she has in her 5th house of lovers, she has, Gemini, Placidus, but in whole sign, she actually has Taurus in her 5th house of lovers in dating. So his Taurus stuff hits her 5th house of love, sex, pleasure, desire, and she's like a mirror for him. Honestly, they're like the same person. They're like mirrors for each other. They feel like the same person together, right? And we're going to pull up the Synastry chart too, but we're going to kind of just break it down individually first, and then we'll get to the Synastry chart. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But what is she looking for in marriage? She's looking for a king. 7th house, moon in Leo. And if we put this in whole sign, she has Cancer in the 7th house of marriage. So she's looking for someone nurturing, someone stable, someone who's going to be at home to raise the kids and take care of the family, someone who's creative, but not in the Pisces way. Someone who's creative more in the Cancerian way. They're music, but they have traditional family values. Someone that she could commit to, someone who's going to be more of a homebody. She's looking for that Cancer in the 7th house of marriage. So MGK, he hits her 5th house of lovers and dating and fun, but he doesn't hit her 7th house at all. He has nothing in Leo. He has nothing in Cancer. There's nothing to really ground or root the relationship in commitment. You know, we need some kind of 7th house, 8th house something to stabilize the relationship and to bring some kind of foundation to it when it comes to marriage. And you'll see this in Synastry with marriages that work out. We have the Sun, Moon, Venus, Jupiter in the 7th house, in the 8th house, or there's some kind of 5th house, 7th house placements that complement each other really well for the other person. So they could be grounded and stable, you know? So just based on her chart, we can see why she likes him. He's fun. He's sexy to her. Like this guy, and he's like a child. The 5th house is children. The 5th house is the house of children. So she feels, she's a Capricorn rising. So she takes on daddy energy. She takes on the authority figure. She takes on the boss in the relationship. She's his manager. She tells him what to do. Okay. And then we're going to look at his chart. I'm going to show you. We'll pull up his chart now. Okay. Cause, is he going to respond to that energy? So her partner, right? Before we move on to his chart, her partner needs to allow her to be in control. She needs to be the dominant partner in the relationship, and she needs her partner to revolve around her. She's a moon in Leo. She's needy. She needs a lot of attention. She's a queen. So she's looking for a king, but she's looking for a man that's going to measure up to all of that, like those high expectations. Listen, Leo energy, it needs the best. It wants the best, and it needs to be the center of attention. Leo connected to the sun, right? When a woman or somebody has a moon in Leo, sun in Leo, whatever, they need a partner that like orbits them, that like revolves around them in their life. You know, like, and they're the center of attention. They need to feel like they are the center in some ways of their partner's life, or that their partner exalts them and treats them. They like to be worshipped. Leo moons, listen, those women, they like to be worshipped. Okay, they kiss my feet, kiss my hands. Okay, like I am a queen, and the expectation is high. You know, expectation is really high, especially when it's in the 8th house. She expects emotional intimacy, emotional depth. She is super psychic. Okay, 8th house moon, Saturn in the 12th. This woman is intuitive and psychic, and she's a witch. She's a witch. She has Pluto in Leo. I'm sorry, Pluto, I'm tripping. I was thinking about her 8th house moon. She has Pluto in Scorpio, sextile her Neptune. It's in the rising. So she has witchy energy. She knows how to do spell work. She's been a witch in her previous life. Is she a good witch though? Can she do love magic sometimes? Yes, because she has Chiron and Venus in Gemini. So she has like her and the women in her lineage. They fall in love with men that are like sexy and like seductive and dangerous. So what her chart says karmically is like they try, like the women in her lineage, they try to save men that like are children or that are immature or that are like they're wild and they're fun because they get, it's like the women are too serious. Like it feels like her mother and the women in her lineage are too serious. And they get with these men that are like fun and exciting, that like bring them to life in some way and stimulate them. But then they don't measure up to the long-term commitment. They don't measure up to the long-term vision of a consistent partner, of a husband, of someone that's going to be there that they can grow a family with. So like, it feels like the woman in her lineage and her, she's here to like figure out, okay, how can I be with someone that's fun and exciting, but that also has the same values as me? It's also going to be consistent. That's where the Cancer energy comes in. That's where the Leo energy comes in. Cancer and Leo, those two signs are connected to the mother and the father. You know, so why do you think the Pluto and Leo and the Pluto Cancer generation was having so many babies, and why they were so focused on the family and having kids? They had 9 kids, 11, you know, a lot of us, you know, with Pluto and Leo, Pluto and Cancer, parents or grandparents, they had 20 kids. What are you doing? Slow down. Okay. I know you're the signs of creation, but slow down. Okay. We don't need that many babies. All right. That's a lot of karma you're trying to disperse. I get it, in one lifetime. Okay. And then they drop the ball anyways, right? So, but she needs someone Leo Cancer. She needs someone family oriented. She needs father energy. Like, that's what she needs to partner with. You know what I mean? So, and he's not that. He is not that, and I'm going to show you. But before we move on to that, what I wanted to point out in her chart is the Venus square Jupiter. And Venus opposite, so she has Venus, which is her love life, in Gemini. Bad decisions, bad choices when it comes to love. Gemini is decisions and choices. Venus in Gemini is like, we want someone that's fun, that's mischievous. You know, but that's also falling in love with partners that have multiple personalities, or they have, you know, the bad twin, the good twin. Then she has Venus square Jupiter. You see that square to Jupiter? That's a bad husband energy. That's bad husband karma. That's making bad choices, bad investments when it comes to love, when it comes to partners. And that's also being very doubtful and pessimistic around love. She has a lot of wounding around love, especially with the father. Technically, she also has Chiron square Jupiter. 13 degrees. It's not being shown here, but she does have Chiron square Jupiter. So she has wounding around husband, around father things, and around men that are irresponsible too. Like, don't take care, that don't provide. So she has Jupiter in the second house, but it has a square from Venus. So that's also like men that are very financially inconsistent. You know, that run in the lineage, that don't, and they're like random, they're chaotic. Men bring chaos into her life. She has Venus opposite Uranus, you know? And yeah, so, but she's the masculine one. She's the dominant one. And she needs to understand that. Like, Megan, become a subscriber, okay? Because you're the dominant one in the relationship. You're meant to wear the pants. You have Mars on the rising, and you're a Capricorn rising, baby. Listen, you're looking for the king where you're the queen. I get that, but you gotta be patient. 4. So squares are always gonna be 4 signs away. Okay? So when you're looking at, like, for instance, if we take a look at her Uranus in Sagittarius, square Jupiter in Pisces, square Venus in Gemini, Pisces, and Sagittarius, they're all mutable signs. They're all the signs of inconsistency. Okay? They're the signs of flexibility and adaptability, but they're inconsistent. And they square all the signs that are mutable, fixed, and cardinal, they square each other. Yes, Jupiter and Pisces lacking boundaries with lovers, and also lovers lying to her, lovers deceiving her. Jupiter and Pisces square Venus and Gemini. What have we been dealing with, y'all? What scamming energy have we been dealing with? We've been dealing with Mars and Gemini square all the Pisces stuff. Now we have Mars and Gemini square the Sun in Pisces. We had Mars and Gemini square Neptune in Pisces. That's all the scamming, all the lying, all the deceiving, all the being dishonest, all that. She has that in her chart. She literally has that. She has that combination. Jupiter in Pisces square Venus in Gemini. She has that energy in her chart around men, around husbands, Jupiter, and around lovers, partners, Venus. You know, and it's also it's the father energy. This is dad's energy. Dad was inconsistent. Dad was unloyal. Dad was chaotic, and dad can be a ladies' man, and he was a womanizer. So this energy, unless she heals it, guess what? It's going to manifest outward as unhealthy relationships and partners where she's trying to save people. She's trying to save them. She's trying to become their parent. She's trying to become MGK's dad or mom. Baby, you can't do that. You know, we cannot mother or father or nurse or teach a spouse to be a parent or to be, a king or to be a husband. We can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. So yeah, like she's going to wake up and smell the coffee. Can this be fixed? He has to do the work. So he needs to work on it. So we're going to pull up his chart. I'll show you. The man's a mess. Okay. MGK's chart is a mess. Okay. We're going to pull up his chart. But yeah, so before I move on though, so squares are always going to be between either fixed signs, a fixed sign squaring a fixed sign, a cardinal sign squaring a cardinal sign, or a mutable sign squaring a mutable sign. So squares are a 90-degree relationship. So that's going to be 30 degrees. So if a square is literally 90 degrees, it's a corner angle, right? So a square is literally going to look like that. It's literally going to be the corner of a square. It's a 90-degree relationship between two signs or between two planets. And that's where you get the red lines. The squares bring conflict. When you see a red line, that's tension, that's conflict, that's struggle, that's strife. It could be overcome within her chart, but she needs to make better choices. Straight up, Venus in Gemini, square Jupiter in Pisces. She self-deceives herself. She makes the wrong choice when it comes to partners. She falls in love with people that are fun and exciting, but they're not inconsistent family men. Because what she really needs to be looking for is that Cancer in the 7th or that Moon in Leo in the 7th, right? Whether we're looking at it in whole sign or we're looking at it in Placidus. Okay. Does that make sense, you guys? Slow it down a little bit. You know, I get a little hyper. I get a little excited. Drink some water. Does that make sense? Okay. Now let's go ahead and pull up MG Machine Gun Kelly's chart. Okay, look at this man. He is a Gemini rising. Okay, that's enough. The reading is over. No, I'm kidding. Look at Moon and Leo in the 7th is codependent. Is codependent partners, craving relationship, craving partnership, like over and over. Like so anytime someone has a sun or the moon in the 7th house, they identify with a relationship. Like they find themselves through partnership and they will literally go they'll get themselves stuck in codependent relationships, but also they will have people codependently connect to them with the moon. So this is the moon in the 7th in general. Like people, they end up in codependent connections where they're mothering or taking care of a spouse or a partner. Okay. But look at this man's chart. Like he's a Gemini rising. Okay. And he has the sun and Mercury in the 12th house of self-undoing and self-sabotage. So he also has his first house ruler in the 12th house. And he has Mercury opposite Pluto. So this is where the tattoos, this is where the Scorpio energy, like the blood and the darkness and the Hades energy that he has comes from. He's a Gemini rising, okay? But his rising sign is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's in the 12th house, and Mercury's in Taurus opposite Pluto, directly opposite Pluto, directly opposite Lilith. She knows this man's chart. She does astrology. She did an interview where she was literally talking about this man's chart. She knows better. That's all I have to say. She knows better. She thinks that she could tame this man. She did blood magic with him. So check this out. Taurus rules the throat and the neck, right? He posted a video where he literally in the video says, I wear your blood around my neck. He has Mercury, which rules jewelry, okay, and objects. In Taurus, okay, a beauty object. Opposite Lilith and Pluto in the 6th house. Like, it's literally like him wearing blood around his neck, her blood around. It's like blood magic to keep them together because she knows. She knows that this man cannot be trusted. She loves this man because she identifies with him. She feels him. She feels bad for him, actually. She wants to save him. He has a moon in. So look at his chart. Everything in his chart is inconsistent. He has so much mutable energy. He's a Gemini rising. He has Mars and Venus in Pisces, and he has a moon in Pisces. He's a fish. And so, like, he's slippery. Like, she tries to catch him. She tries to, like, keep him. She tries to hold on to him. But in some ways, he's always, like, missing. He's always not there. He's always not present in some way. Like, there's parts about him that she can't tame and she can't control. And he doesn't give her the energy of safety. You see, he doesn't give her the energy of consistency because she doesn't trust him when he comes to work or when he goes to work or when he leaves her side, when he's on tour. She does not trust him. She feels like there's something else going on because he also has the Pluto Lilith in the 6th house of work, habits, daily routines, and what he does, right? And like, he has that Lilith and Pluto trine his Venus. He has Lilith and Pluto trine his Venus. So it's like, this man can also, it's the same thing with Nick Cannon. We have that energy of like, we can't trust this person around women, you know? Like, he looks, and he's charismatic, he's sweet, he's loving, he's compassionate. Yes, he's self-sacrificial, but he has a drug problem. You know, I think this man, when he drinks, when he smokes or whatever, or whenever he does stuff, he becomes a different person. I think he has a personality shift. And I think he's like a little bipolar, or there's like different parts about his identity or different parts about his personality that kind of make it really hard, make it hard for him to stay committed and consistent to people, you know? So taking a look at his Jupiter in Cancer, he has an exalted Jupiter in Cancer in the 2nd house. So I think that this guy, I think he, in some ways, he grew up privileged in some way. I don't know if his grandparents had money or if he came from money in some way, but there was some kind of privilege, something. He's very lucky when it comes to money, finance, success. What's also interesting is, he got famous. Oh, yeah. Okay. So he has an exalted Jupiter, but it rules his 7th house and his 10th house. So he actually got famous by, he actually started getting popular through partnership with Megan Fox. So it was his 7th house relationship that actually put him on, but also it was the rap battle with Eminem. Do you remember the whole thing that happened with Eminem? Like, we didn't really know who Machine Gun Kelly was. He was like, whatever, you know? We weren't really into him that much or whatever. But it wasn't until the whole thing with Eminem that he did. And then when he got with Megan Fox, his 7th house, that activated his 10th house and actually got him or propelled him into like more popularity or people being more, us, what do you call that? Us knowing his name more. Because I had no idea who the man was. I mean, I'd heard of him every now and then. But his music isn't anything to write home about. You know what I mean? I think in some ways, he has a wound around creativity, creation. He has Jupiter conjunct Chiron, right? Let's see. Yeah, there's like a 6-degree orb. Yeah, it's like, it's interesting. It's like, he actually needs to cultivate talent. Like, he actually needs to become a musician. Like, he needs to study music. He needs to, like, be consistent. Is that why Megan Fox followed Eminem? Yeah, to make him mad, I'm pretty sure, yeah. To make him mad or to trigger him. But this is also why going back to him. This is why he actually needs to develop talent. Like, he needs to go to school. He has Saturn in Capricorn. So if he has Saturn in Capricorn in the 8th house. So he actually needs to learn how to invest in himself. And he like needs to actually become a real musician. Like, he needs to not fake it. What's up, beloved? Welcome. So that's like, he fakes it. He's a faker. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. If he develops real talent, if he doesn't he has Jupiter in the Leo degree, okay? And he has Gemini, he's Gemini rising. It's like, you can't fake it till you make it, Pisces, Gemini. You know, at some point, people are going to expect real talent from you. They're going to want to see you like do something, you know, they're gonna, and so it's like we could perform, we can look good on paper, right? He has appeal, he has, you know, Venus exalted in the 10th house with the moon there, but yeah, it's like he's got to go, it's like he's copy pasting Pisces. It's like the shadow of Pisces, the moon and Venus in his 10th house of career and legacy. It's like, it's just copy paste. It's just imitation. It's just it's like deception. It's like you just taking what someone else did, like stealing, theft, Pisces, Gemini things. It's like you stealing or taking what someone else did and just rebranding it and making it your own in some way, you know? Like, and I think that's what he's gotten in trouble for. I don't know. I think that's what he got in trouble with Eminem. I think he was like, there was something. What happened with him and Eminem? I don't remember. Hold on, let me pull him up really quick. But it's like this energy of like inauthenticity. They're not, yeah. Oh, well, look what Eminem said. Dang. Eminem said he had to destroy Machine Gun Kelly without making him bigger. Oh, this went back to 2012 when Neptune went into Pisces. Oh, he made a comment about her daughter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like, it's even him, it's even Machine Gun Kelly using his 7th house, using feuds, using conflict to like build business or like to get, you know, into business. When people have Mars in the 10th house, when it comes to the career and the public image, even if like, let's say you have Mars in the 10th house and you work a corporate job, you have a job, you're going to come into conflict. You're going to have to fight for your position, fight for your authority. You're going to have to be aggressive around the way you navigate your career and your work. And so him having Mars in the 10th house, he should do battles. He should, you know, do rap battles with other people because it'll make him a better rapper. It'll make him a better musician, right? But Mars in the 10th house is going to be like some kind of conflict or tension or some kind of fight around your career, your legacy. And it's going to bring a malefic energy. It brings some kind of tension, you know, something like that. But yeah, so also, if we take a look at his chart, his mother was, I think, on drugs when she conceived him. So there's stuff, he got bad habits from his mother. Let's see, hold on. MGK mom, let's see. Look it, I knew it. His mother was not in his life. Look at this. Look at. So check this out. His 4th house ruler of the mother is in the 12th house of loss and sacrifice and things that are missing. And he has Mercury opposite Lilith and Pluto in the 6th house. Do you see that opposition between Mercury and Pluto and Lilith? Like, this tells us mom was like dealing with some kind of addiction, escapism, had some kind of bad habit, or he was born out of wedlock. He was born out of secrecy. Like the mother and the father were in a secret, hidden, private relationship, or I think they were doing drugs together or something. They might have been like on one together, like the mother and the father. Because, yeah, look at right here. So look at, born and initially raised in Houston, Texas, MGK, whose real name is Colson Baker, previously opened up about his mother's absence during his childhood. And a Little Skies collaboration titled Burning Memories from his Hotel Diablo album, and said she abandoned their family when he was 9 years old. He looks just like his mom too. Like, look at them. Look at, I'm gonna show you. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. He's a Gemini. So he's a Gemini rising, right? He's a Gemini rising, ruled by Mercury and Taurus. He looks, and he has Virgo in the 4th house of the mother, so he looks just like his mom. Look at this. Look. Look at this. They are freaking twins. Gemini rising, Virgo ruling the 4th house of the mother, ruled by Mercury. Him and his mom are twins. Look, it's literally the first house of the self, our face, the way that we look. He looks just like his mom. He's her motherfucking twin. Gemini rising, Virgo in the 4th. You see that? Like, that's where he got the looks and the beauty from, but he got the length. He got the tallness from his father. He got the height from his father. So hold on. Let's see. Let me go read a little bit more here. Oh, his fans. Okay, so his fans are the reason why him and his mother connected. Wow. Okay, hold on. I want to know about the woman. Tell us about what she did. We want to know what was the she was a drug addict. I know it. Oh, wow. Dang. Scorpio things. Pluto, Lilith, and Scorpio. He doesn't say anything about his mom. But you know what? There was abuse. I think there was also abuse going on. There's some kind of neglect or abuse going on too from the father, I think. His mom was a victim in some ways. Yeah, you see that? Like literally a spitting image. Gemini rising, Mercury. I'm trying to read about his mom, but like... His dad passed. 12th house. Karmic. His dad passed. So check this out. His dad passed away during his Saturn return. So Saturn was going through Capricorn from 2017. No, I think it was, it was like 2017, that back, and then fully went in 2018, and then all the way to 2020, Saturn was going through Capricorn. So he was going through his Saturn return, okay? But what does he have in his 8th house? He has Saturn, the planet of loss, the planet of death, okay? In the 8th house of loss and death too. So Saturn is the reaper. One of the things that, for those of you that are learning astrology, those of you that want to expand your knowledge of astrology, you have to understand the traditional meanings and the traditional rulership of the planets. Because what has happened in modern astrology is a lot of the significations of, like, for instance, Saturn were taken away from him and given to Pluto. But Saturn is the reaper. Saturn is the harvester. Saturn is also death. Saturn is the end, right? So him having Saturn in the 8th house, and he has Saturn square his sun. So what did he experience on July 5th of 2020, Cancer season, which is Jupiter? The sun was going through his 2nd house, opposite his Neptune and his Uranus. What happened? He lost his dad. Saturn in the 8th house of death. He lost his father. His father passed away as part of his Saturn return loss. Because this is meant to teach him how to be a good dad. His loss of his father and the wounding that he experienced with his family is meant to teach him how to be a better dad, that's why he has the North Node in the 9th house, which is the good father, the heavenly father, the divine father, the benevolent father, the 9th house energy, right? Ruled by Saturn. He has the 9th house in Aquarius. So he's here to literally learn how to be a good dad, and he's here to learn how to be a husband. Is he gonna pass though? Is he gonna pass? I don't know. I think for him, I think it's money. I think it's success. I think it's also women and sex and bad habits like drugs that take him away from his purpose and from his mission of like being stable, being a good dad, being a husband, but also like cultivating the real skills and the real talent, like putting time in. North Node in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn and Capricorn in the 8th house. He's got to learn how to invest, be responsible, and he's got to cultivate skills and talents because Saturn in the 8th opposes the 2nd. He's got to cultivate some kind of gifts. He's got to really step into them. Otherwise, he's not going to fulfill his mission, not only as a father, okay? And being a dad, it looks like being a dad to him is really important because he does have a daughter, Libra. So he has, and why do you think his daughter is such a big part of his journey? Why do you think his daughter, he always like shows her off and he's always with her in public and she's like gorgeous. She's a mermaid. Yeah, he loves his daughter. His daughter is his world. Why do you think that is? Looking at his chart. What does he have in his 5th house of children? It's ruled by Libra. See that? So he has a daughter. He has his 5th house of children. Look, I was talking about yesterday when I was talking about, what's his name? Nick Cannon. Even though it's empty, the ruler of his 5th house of children, which is Libra, is exalted in the 10th house in Pisces. Yes, he has a mermaid child. Look at her. She's gorgeous. Look at his daughter. That's his world. Look at that. Like, look at her. She's a mermaid. Look at his daughter. She's Venus in Pisces. She's in his chart. She's Venus in Pisces in the 10th house with the moon. Like, look at her. Let me show you. Hold on, let me get a good picture of her. Look at her. Yes, exactly. Exactly. She has it in the 10th house, so we get to see it in public. Look at. This is him. This is his daughter. And she's a mermaid. And she feels like his mom. In some ways, she's wiser, more spiritual, more in the know than he is. In some ways. Because it's the moon and Venus in the 10th house together. She looks grown, yes. 10th house. She's responsible. She's like his... Yeah, like she's like... He owes it to her, though. Look at... Even when they were young, there's something. You see this? But this is favorite. This is my favorite. This is his favorite. This is his woman. This is his lady. His daughter. No one is going to be able to come close to the relationship that he has with his daughter. His 5th house ruler of children is exalted in the 10th house with the moon in Pisces. Like, he does everything for her. If anything, he's going to be responsible and do it for her. Look at this. Look at, like, you can just see the karmic connection here. Like, you can just feel it. You can see it. Like, you know, and it's crazy because her mom wasn't really present, it looks like, from what I'm reading. Her biological mother wasn't really there, wasn't really present. The daughters. Yes, Pisces. Oh, Pisces, because Pisces rules mermaids. Pisces rules mermaids. Pisces rules spirit, faith, the divine. But Venus in Pisces is exalted, extra strong, extra powerful, extra beautiful, extra gifted, extra lucky. Like, that's his soft spot. Like, that is his sweet spot. His daughter is what redeems him, is what makes him feel good, is what brings him joy, because he has an exalted Venus with the moon together. So being a father to her, and her energy in his life is healing, is loving, is redemptive. On the daughter, yeah, I'm going to see if I can get her chart. Hold on. MGK daughter. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if daughter and Megan Fox don't get along. Hold on. I wonder if they don't get along. I think so. MGK daughter. I don't think they get along. Her name is Casey Colson Baker. Hold on. She was born in 2009. She's a Cancer. She was born July of 2009. July 24th. She's a Leo? July 24th? No, she's a Leo, I think. Hold on, let's see. She must be a Leo. Oh, her dad's her. Oh, daddy's girl. She's a Leo. She has a son in Leo. Oh, yeah, Megan's not connected to her, no. Megan would be her stepdaughter, if anything. Yeah. No, but I was thinking about, like, energetically, like, how do Megan and the daughter get along? Because Megan may be jealous of the relationship that he has with his daughter. Like, there may be a weird dynamic that comes through where he shows up for his daughter and he, like, loves her in this, like, unconditional, spiritual, divine way that he doesn't do with women and with lovers. Like, that's different. Like, it's like, that's like the sacred union of, like, parent and child that no love, no relationship could come against. So she may be jealous and possessive about that, honestly. Yes. South node at 12 degrees. Yes. Leo. So when a daughter has a son in Leo, she's daddy's girl. She's daddy's favorite. Because in her chart, her dad is the sun, the center of her life. That's dad's favorite. Brings her joy. She looks up to him. No matter what anyone says about her dad, listen, you can't talk about her dad around her because she's going to get defensive and protective of him. And she's just like him. She can't be second place. She has a moon in Leo and a sun in Taurus. She cannot. And she's Capricorn rising. She needs to be in control. You know, this is past life stuff. Yeah, hold on. I'm about to pull up the daughter's chart. Hold on. I'm about to pull up the daughter's chart. Where did I have her birthday? Hold on. What did I say it was? Hold on, let me pull it up really quick. I'll tell you guys what she has. July 24th, right? Casey Colson Baker. Oh, here we go. Let me see if she has a little she might have a Wikipedia article. Oh yeah, she does. She's got a little thing here. July 24th, 2009. Okay, let's pull up the chart. July 24th, 2009. Let's see what she's got going on here. Wah, wah, wah. Let's see. Wow. She has the North Node in Capricorn and the South Node in Cancer. She has Mercury in Leo right on MGK's South Node in Leo. Her Mercury is in Leo at 12 degrees. And it's on his South Node in Leo in 12 degrees. So what this says is that he abandoned her as a father in a previous life. And they feel more like siblings. She feels more like she feels more like a brother to him. Or I'm sorry. He feels more like a brother to her. And he's a Gemini rising. Yes. So they have a sibling connection. And what's crazy about her chart is she has Mars and Venus in Gemini. Her sun in Leo and her Mercury is actually sextile Mars and Gemini. So he was being deceitful and cheating and with multiple women at this time. And so was her mama. Because she has Mars and Venus in Gemini, okay? So this is where we get the inconsistency, but her Mars in Gemini is sextile to Mercury in Leo. So this also tells us that, like, her dad feels more like her brother, like feels like a twin. It's like the whole twin thing. It's like him and his mom were twins, and now him and his daughter are twins. Like, it's just like everyone in his life is a mirror of him. Even what's her name? Megan Fox. That's his twin. She's a Taurus, he's a Taurus. That's the only thing they have in common. Is we're twins. We're just the same. Everyone in his life all the women in his life are a mirror for him. Like all the women that are like is playing a significant part in his life, or they have something to teach him or something to show him. Like he has something to learn. He needs to be learning from all of these women, all of these karmic experiences that he has with his mother, with his daughter, she's karmic, you know, with Megan Fox. She's a Capricorn rising. She's literally karmic. Like, if you're a Capricorn rising, or if you're an Aquarius rising, or if you have Capricorn, Aquarius, anything, you're karma. You're walking, talking karma. Like, you walk around in people's lives dishing out Saturn's karma. Like, you are the arbitrators of Saturn's lessons, and you go in people's lives, and you're here to teach them something. You're here to teach them responsibility. You're here to teach them discipline, or you're here to show them to themselves, show them a lack of responsibility, a lack of commitment. Like, and it's tough because you walking around doing Saturn's work, you're probably the enemy in everyone's life too. Aquarius, Capricorn. Okay, listen, Aries, Scorpio too. Yep, yeah, you are the villain. You are the enemy in everyone's life because you're here to teach people these hard lessons that they don't want to learn. And Saturn works through you. Saturn, Mars works through you. You know, Scorpio, Aries, Capricorn, Aquarius, you know. You are the arbitrators of Saturn's karma. 5 planets, Pisces, my chart. Yeah, baby, you're karmic. You're here to do Saturn's work. It's not easy. It's hard. Okay, the Aquarius sun. Call me the bad guy. Yeah, like I have a moon in Capricorn too. Make me your video. We're the crocodiles. As you guys literally transforming everyone that led into my life. Yes, we're the crocodiles of the zodiac. Listen, when I did that post this morning about Capricorn and about the Vedic representation of Capricorn as being a crocodile, it made so much sense to me. It made so much sense to me because we're the fucking predators. We are the predators. Capricorn is the predator of the earth signs. Mars, the planet of war and aggression, is exalted. Exaltation. Strong, powerful in Capricorn. Why is that? Because we're the fucking crocodiles, baby. We're the dinosaurs of the zodiac, okay? We are the ancient ones. We're the ones that hide underneath the surface. And we're just waiting, okay? Yeah, you listen. Capricorn is a Scorpio. Capricorn is the Scorpio of the earth signs. Yes, that's what I said. We're ancient. We go back. We're one of the oldest. We were here in the beginning. We've been here from the beginning. Capricorn. When you have Capricorn placements, your soul is old. You're Benjamin Button syndrome, baby. When you're born, you feel it. You're like, damn, you were born with wrinkles. You were born with, I was born with a mustache already, okay? I had hair coming out of my ears and everything. You know, it's Benjamin Button syndrome. You're born old, and then you have to learn to be a child again. You have to learn to be innocent. You have to learn to, like, let go of that control and let go of the seriousness and let go of the depression and the sadness. You got to learn to reconnect to your child, like to become a child again. You got to learn to, like, you age in reverse. Right? But many Capricorns, they don't want to let go of who they've been karmically in their previous lives. They don't want to let go of being the dad, of being the grandpa, of being the grandmother, of being the authority figure, of being the boss. Like, listen, at what point does your responsibility come to an end and you start to do things for you and start to just have fun and be joyous? It's not always obligation and responsibility. It's not always your work, you know? And that's why Capricorn has to reverse and they have to age in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? A lot of you who have, I want to give you all that because you got a lot of Capricorn. I have Capricorn placements, so you have a moon in Capricorn. So, yeah, but you know, so there's a lot. Capricorn doesn't get enough. We don't have enough information on Capricorn. We don't get enough character. We don't see the personality. You go online, you could read everything about Leo and you read everything about all the other signs. And Capricorn is just like, what's missing? Why, right? It's because we got to go back. We got to go deeper. We got to understand Capricorn as the Saturn's feminine version, the hidden part of Saturn, the wise part of Capricorn rules trees. So Capricorn is Mother Willow in Pocahontas. the all-knowing, the all-seeing, the wisdom and the knowledge that where we've lived through all the lives. We've seen, what do you call it? Empires come and go. That's Capricorn. Like the tree that saw it all. Like I see, I know your great grandfather. Like that's Capricorn energy. Like it records time. It goes all the way back to the past. Capricorn remembers. What is it? The tree remembers, but the axe forgets. Right? I'll never forget that. There's a quote it's from the garden of my daughter's garden documentary. Hold on. You guys got to watch this if you haven't seen this documentary. In Our Mother's Gardens. Okay, In Our Mother's Gardens. It's Capricorn rules legacy in the past and history. But it's a documentary that talks about like women in the mother lineage going all the way back. And it's all these women talking about their mothers, their grandmothers, like, how they grew up and the characters and who they were. So Capricorn and Cancer has a lot to do with legacy in the past and our family tree. That's why Capricorn rules trees, right? But it's that wisdom and that knowledge and that history and that legacy that gets passed down generation to generation. That's what Capricorn is. So when you think about the quote, the tree remembers, but the axe forgets. Because the tree it goes so back. That wisdom and that knowledge is so deep. And the age of the soul is so old that, like, that's why Capricorns, when they come in this life, they're like, damn, I'm here again. Like, what do I got to do? Like, they're just unimpressed. Like, Capricorns, when they're born with that scowl on their face. That's why Capricorns are always known for having the scowl and the frumpy face, though. They're born mad because they're like, damn, I'm here again. Like, how many times do I gotta keep doing this? They're fed up with this reality. They're like, I don't want to be here again. Why am I doing this again? They're pissed off. Capricorns are old souls that are just born mad and angry because they don't want to be. They're so unimpressed. They're just, this is it. Like, they're done. Like, they're like, I've done it all. Like, you know what I mean? It's so funny. I love it. It's hilarious. Okay, but let's get back. Let me drink some water and then let's get back. We had a little Capricorn tangent. Hopefully you learned a little bit about yourself. Okay? For all of you, you all have Capricorn placements in here. Many of you do. It's so funny. Saturn and Capricorn even. But going back to MGK's chart, right? So understanding how he is, like the mutable energy, the mutable rising, the mutable moon, the mutable Venus, the mutable Mars, it's inconsistent. It's unreliable. It's deceptive and tricky, He has Mars sextile Mercury in the 12th house. You can't trust this man. Venus touching Lilith and Pluto, like, he can be very possessive and intense too. That's another thing. This guy, he has suicidal energy. When we have Mercury in the 12th house of the mind is self-sabotaging, and it's opposite Pluto in, like, Lilith, this is like overdose. Let's see. Yep, like, he has a song called Overdose. Yep, look at this. October 15th, 2018. Rapper Machine Gun Kelly fans were worried for his well-being when rumors swirled on Twitter that he had died from a ligama overdose. Drug overdoses may be intentional, but they can be accidental. Machine Gun Kelly is a multi-talented artist. I don't know whether this stuff is true, but his overdose. So, it's the Lilith and Pluto opposite Mercury. Like, this guy has bad addictive habits. Like, this guy has no self-control. And he's highly sexual. That's the thing. This guy, he lays it down. And she loves it. He has Mars sextile the sun. So I'm telling you, he's probably got a nice one, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. He has Mars listen to the word, Mars sextile the sun. And he has Lilith and Pluto opposite Mercury. So this guy's good with his hands. He's good with his mouth. Okay. This guy knows how to work it, okay? He knows how to work it. I guarantee you, this man knows how to lay it down. Alrighty? And that's what gets women. That's what got her. That's why she tried to make this man who actually should just be a fun, good time. She's trying to turn him into a husband and turn him into a partner. I don't know if it's gonna work, Megan. I don't know. Look at this. Right here. Look what I just read. A sextile is a 60-degree relationship. So that's going to be 2 signs away. So a sextile is always going to be between either a fire and an air sign or like a earth and a water sign. So, oh yeah, this guy, yeah, he's into, yeah, I think he's like okay, he was like a top. He could be a bottom sometimes, but he's like a universal top. This guy likes pleasure. So he could be bi. I mean, look at the Lilith. Come on, look at the Lilith and Pluto together in Scorpio, opposite Mercury. And look at the Mars touching the Mercury. Like, it's in Pisces. Pisces energy is bisexual. Like, mutable energy, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, hidden, but Virgo, okay. Virgo too, listen, you won't know it. Virgo will play the part. But they have that double life, just like Pisces. They have the double life. They're going home to the wife. Then they got the gay male lover from high school that they played tennis with and grew up with. They have the best friend. I'm just saying, okay? I've seen it. I've read it. I've seen it. Okay? The mutable energy. And Mars in a mutable sign. So Mars in Pisces, Mars in Gemini, Mars in Sag, Mars in Virgo is LGBT. Goes the other way. Okay? Or likes both. This guy, I think he just likes pleasure. I think he likes sex. Like, I think when he gets under the influence and does drugs or whatever, whatever is touching his penis at that time, whatever happens to be around is what he's into. Yes, mutable signs, or yes, bisexual, yes. Mutable Mars, especially mutable Mars, mutable Venuses. They're into both, or they'll be flexible. Even they'll play. Even if it's not like a lifestyle for them, they'll play. They want to have fun. They want to play. They're okay with that. They're okay with being flexible. They'll bend. Why do you think, look at the way he dresses. He has Venus and Pisces. The man, he's wearing nails. He has nails on. The man, he has a dress on. Okay. Look at this. Mutable Mars. So I'm going to read you guys something. This is why you got to be careful with partnering with people that have like Pluto, Lilith, opposite anything. Opposite their Venus, opposite their sun, opposite their moon, opposite, oh my God, especially opposite Mars in a man's chart, because it's going to bring Romeo and Juliet energy. Like, if I can't have you, no one can. If I can't have you, I'm going to kill myself. If I can't have you, then it's like, and it's even like, I'll die for you. Like, or the reverse of that. Like, I'm going to take you out and I'm going to take you out with me. Like Pluto, whenever it's touching through an opposition or a square, a Mars, a Mercury, a Sun, a Moon that someone has, you get the Romeo and Juliet energy. You get the near-death experience when it comes to love and relationships. And you get obsessiveness, you get scapegoating, you get control, you get jealousy, you get secrecy, you get lies and deceit, and you get just drama. It's just drama. It's like you're going to the underworld with Hades. It's like when you fall in love with Hades, it's a 180-degree relationship. So it's opposite. So oppositions are always going to be red lines from opposite sides of the chart. So if you take a look at his 6th house, we have Lilith and Pluto in the 6th in Scorpio, right? If you look on the very right, go down a little bit. We have Scorpio. That's a sign of Scorpio. We got Lilith and Pluto. And then we have a thick-ass red line. Bam. Going right to Mercury. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because this is going to make him, like, inconsistent and obsessive and like self-sabotaging, self-sacrificial, especially around drugs, especially around habits, especially around So look I'm going to read this to you guys. Look what I just found. Okay? Machine Gun Kelly details sobering paranoia-induced suicide attempt in new documentary. In Life in Pink, the rapper recalls a night after his father died in 2020, 8th house energy, Saturn he was going through a Saturn return, when he put a shotgun in his mouth while on the phone with his fiancée Megan Fox. Yes, the red line is the opposition, opposing forces. So you got to think, whenever you see a red line like that, it's like two planets fighting each other. They're in conflict. And the way we resolve those oppositions, those red lines, we've got to bring them into balance. But listen, Pluto opposite Mercury. Listen to this. In Life in Pink, the rapper recalls a night after his father died in 2020 when he put a shotgun in his mouth while on the phone with his fiancée Megan Fox. That's Mercury opposite Pluto and Lilith. In manifesting, in the real world. That's that type of energy. And this is the type of energy that keeps people trapped and stuck in relationships that are unhealthy and toxic, because they're afraid, right? All of a sudden, that person's inconsistency and that person's near-death suicidal energy, like Romeo and Juliet type of narrative, type of story that they want to live in their life, their karmic stuff, that becomes their burden. You don't want to be the cause of someone taking themselves out. You don't want to be the cause of someone, killing themselves. That love comes with a price. It doesn't come for free. And you may have to pay it with that person taking their life. And then you have to deal with that on your conscience. You got to deal with that loss. You built that emotional attachment to someone who's unsafe, who's unstable, who's danger to themselves, right? And baby, it's risky. You see what I'm saying? I knew that. I already knew. Baby, I know this stuff. Let me tell you guys, I get these downloads. When I look at the charts, I get these downloads. I go and search for it, and it's there. I always find it. Every single time. Every single time. I find it every single time. Consistently. All the time. What I go looking for, I find. Because I see it in the charts. In the universe, that's the way the universe reinforces it. It's the Pluto opposite Mercury. That in his chart in of itself is a motherfucking problem. This guy's a danger to himself. This guy's a danger to everyone else around him. So then it becomes, you know what it becomes? It becomes if I don't love myself and I'm willing to take myself out, then I don't mind taking anyone else out either. People that are unable to love themselves are not fully able to love anybody else in a healthy, sustainable way. I don't care what anyone says, because self-love is the root of all love. And people think they mess it up because they think I love this person, but they hate themselves. And so the way they're loving the person is actually through hatred or through neglect or through scapegoating or gaslighting or manipulation or you can't, or trauma, crisis energy, always in crisis, throwing crisis in the situation, right? To keep that person engaged, because they become like a black hole of energy. It takes self-love and yes, because then we have a fucked up concept of what love is. We think love is sacrifice. We think love is loss. We think love is suffering. We think love is pain and anguish. We think love is rejection and trauma, baby. No, it's not. That's not what love is. That's what we've learned what love is. That's what we've inherited karmically in the family. That's what we've been trained. We've been taught to believe. That's what right? But that's not what love is. So that's why it's when we encounter men like these that are fucking project. This guy's a project. This guy is a school project, is what he is. He's a school project. And when school is over, you leave him at fucking school. You don't take that project home with you and try to turn it to a fucking husband or turn it into a father. You can't. It's a plaything. He's a toy. Gemini rising. He's a toy. Let him be that, okay? But don't expect more. He's not the one. He needs a Sagittarian woman. He needs a Cancer woman. So he's looking for something that's actually more his Jupiter in Cancer with his seventh house. Like, I think this man just needs to focus on himself, honestly. I think he just really needs to figure out who he is. I think he needs to get clear within himself before he gets in any kind of love relationship. This man's a chronic codependent lover. Venus and the moon in Pisces. This guy is codependent. This guy doesn't know how to be single. This guy is emotionally everywhere. Men with the moon in Pisces, oh lordy. Men with a moon in Pisces. Saturn in the 8th house is kind of depressive too. He has Saturn opposite. Yeah. It's just, he needs to go sober, I think. Look at this, you guys. Oh my gosh, he may have made a pact with the devil. Like, this guy he has a relationship with Hades. And I feel like he has a past life relationship with Hades. I do think that this guy has some weird karmic shit around like love and relationships and around devil energy and around like demonic stuff because of his Mercury, Pluto, Lilith opposition. That literally is like a contract with the devil to me. But I'm going to read this to you guys. Okay? Listen to what I'm about to read. Okay? In Machine Gun Kelly's Hulu documentary, Life in Pink. We should watch the documentary too. Let's all watch we'll watch the documentary and then we'll reconvene, okay? We'll go over his chart again after you watch the documentary to kind of see what's manifesting in his life. But check this out. In Machine Gun Kelly's new Hulu documentary, Life in Pink, he details the paranoia-induced suicide attempt that led to his sobriety from hard drugs. Okay, so I hope he's still sober. He might have relapsed. Mars is in Gemini in his rising sign. I feel like he relapsed. I think Saturn going out of Aquarius and hitting Mars too. Oh yeah, he's relapsed. Saturn is about to hit his Mars, and he has Mars in his rising right now. So I feel like he's doing something. He probably relapsed. But anyways, let's keep reading this. He details the paranoia-induced suicide attempt that led to his sobriety from hard drugs. After recalling his final memories shared with his father, who died in July 2020, the rapper discloses that while in a state of distress, he put a shotgun into his mouth while on the phone with his fiancée. MGK, born Colson Baker, found himself on his own and plagued by paranoia as Fox was filming a movie in Bulgaria. I wouldn't leave my room. I started getting really, really, really dark, he explains in the film. I started getting this really wild paranoia. Like, I kept getting paranoid that someone was going to come and kill me. Yes, he made promises to her that he cannot keep. He can't keep promises to himself. He's inconsistent. He lies too. Listen, Mercury opposite Pluto and Lilith, these people lie. They're deceitful. They have powerful language. They could say things that hurt people. They could cast spells on people. Mercury, Pluto together, opposition, square, doesn't matter. The power of the word and the power of what their mind and what they experience, it's intense. Whenever Pluto is touching Mercury, especially when it's a 12th house thing, we have access to the unconscious, subconscious mind. Yeah, because she's the it girl. She's it. She has fixed placements. He doesn't. He has a 12th house sun, but other than his sun in Taurus, he's all mutable. So it's the same thing that Bruce Willis had. The same problem Bruce Willis had as a Virgo rising. And like the inconsistency, like not getting the full validation, not getting the recognition, not getting the awards, not getting the success, because it's the mutable energy. It's inconsistent. It isn't stable. It can't sustain success. It can't achieve something big or great sometimes. It struggles with it. He has to develop the Sun and Taurus thing. Yes, they will. Exactly. This guy's incredibly insecure. He doesn't know who he is. This guy lacks self-confidence and self-esteem because he has the sun in Mercury, the ruler of his rising, and his sun in the 12th house. The self-sabotage, self-deception, lacking self-worth, lacking self-esteem. I don't love myself. I don't like myself. Like, I can't see I don't even know who I am. Like, it's the sun and the ruler. When the ruler of the rising or the sun and the moon in the 12th house, these people deceive themselves. They're their own worst enemy. And they get really weird about stuff like that. For sure. It's because of Mars. She has Mars on the rising. People are going to hate her. Remember what I was saying about Capricorn? Capricorn rising and Mars on the rising. People, they're going to attack you. When you have Mars in the 10th house, you're going to get attacked at work by a boss, by coworkers. When you have Mars in the rising, you're going to get attacked for who you are, for your identity, and for your partner, because Mars is opposite the 7th. When you have Mars in the 4th house, your mother's attacking you. You're going to get attacked at home. You got your ass beat. Okay? You have Mars in the 5th house, that's your dad. That's your children. And also, that's you hitting your kids. And that's your one son being a fucking pain in the ass in your life. Having a child at an early age, Mars in the 5th house. Having a child when you're young, when you weren't ready. But it's usually a boy or a child that's like violent, crazy, inconsistent. So wherever Mars is where the problem is at in your life and what brings you pain and what causes struggle. So because she has Mars, she's a Capricorn rising with Mars in the 1st. Yes, also that. Yes. Attacking oneself. Yep. So I always, oh my gosh, that's one thing that always comes through with people that have Saturn and Mars in the 1st is self-neglect, self-hatred, cutting. A lot of folks, Mars in the rising, they cut themselves. It's also why people with Mars in the rising, they get tattoos. Because Mars is also connected to tattoos. They love pain. People with Mars in the rising, they're into pain. That's why even I guarantee you, like, what's her name? Megan Fox, she likes the candle wax melting on the skin. You know? Yes, and it goes back to her surgery. Yes. So Mars is going to manifest. Oh, like all these different things. Yeah, spirit. And also subdued power. Mars in the 12th is subdued power, being disconnected from your power. Also suppressed anger, suppressed rage. Also attacking oneself spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Because the 12th house is an emotional house. It's also the mind. So the 12th house is very mental, very emotional, and it's like our inner environment, our unconscious, subconscious. So when Mars is there, we have like these dark, self-incriminating thoughts and feelings. And we also feel disconnected from our power. We feel disconnected from our anger. A lot of people with Mars in the 12th, they suppress their anger. They suppress their Martian energy. They feel very disconnected from it because it's that 12th house energy. Mars doesn't do well in the 12th. He doesn't like to be there. Like, he likes to be in an angular house, and he likes to be in a house where he can like do what he needs to do. He likes to be in the 6th. So he actually finds his joy in the 6th house. Mars does really well in the 6th. That's why, what's his name? Nick Cannon, he had Mars and Scorpio in the 6th house. The man's busy. He's a workaholic. Listen, he's over there. He's got enough sex for everybody, okay? He's got enough D to go around, okay? He's got enough stamina for everybody. The man needs a train, okay? He needs a train of women, honestly. Mars in the 6th in its rulership. But yeah, it could be spiritual attack too. Attacking nightmares. Mars in this 12th house is nightmares, night terrors, a lot of repressed anger that comes out and explodes too. Yeah, that Mars is going to show up in a lot of different ways. Okay, hold on. What was I saying? So, look what he says. Look at this. Look at this. His suspicions. So this must be jealousy. He has a lot of fears. So this guy has unconscious, subconscious fears around death, around lack of success, around taking his own life. Like, this guy is plagued by, you know what? Honestly, this guy feels haunted. He feels haunted. Like, on a soul level, like, it feels like Lilith in Hades and like Pluto, like, haunt him, like plague him, like in his dreams, like energetically. It's that Pluto, Lilith in the 6th, opposite Mercury. Like, he did something. He made a deal with the devil. He murdered somebody in a previous life. He killed somebody, you know, at the 4th. Oh my goodness. Ooh, he might have killed his mom, or he killed a family member. Oh my goodness. He has Mercury rules his fourth, and Mercury, he killed himself. Oh my God, he killed himself. This guy has a karmic thing with killing himself. That's what it is. He kills himself in lives. So he has a fear of death. Mercury rules his first house and his fourth house, and he has it in the 12th opposite Pluto and Lilith. So wow, this guy has killed himself before. That's why he has this, like, he's trigger happy, baby. Like, same. She said same. Yeah, like, there's, like, this fear of death, but there's also this, like, I'm going to conquer it by doing it myself. Like, I'm not going to let death win. I'm not going to let the devil win. I'm not going to let Lilith win because I'm going to do it myself. Like, it's like the fear manifests as this weird control thing that is like, well, I'm going to take myself out then. It's like something like that. So look, check this out. Look what he says. I'm going to read this. Look what this says, you guys. His suspicions led him to sleep with a shotgun beside his bed every night. One of the days, I just fucking snapped, he adds. I called Megan. I was like, you aren't here for me. I'm in my room and I'm like freaking out on her. Dude, I put the shotgun in my mouth and I'm yelling on the phone and like the barrel's in my mouth. And I go to cock the shotgun and the bullet, as it comes back up, the shell just gets jammed. Megan's like dead silent. That was kind of where I started realizing something's not right. Megan, this man needs to be hospitalized, okay? This man needs a doctor, okay? This man needs a therapist. He needs therapy. This guy needs soul level work. He needs to go join a monastery in India or in like Tibet, and he needs to like really get right with his soul. He needs to get right with himself because this guy is a danger to everyone around him, and he's a danger to himself. Like I'm like, it's like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Like, baby, what are you doing? No, stop. You can't save this man. This man is Hades. He knows death. This guy, yeah, baby. This guy, he challenged, you know what I see him? I see him like challenging death. Like I see him challenging Saturn and challenging Pluto. Be like, no, like fuck you. Like you can't get me. Like I'm gonna get me before I let you get me. I'm gonna take myself out. Like there's also this weird pride and this weird ego that he has. Like it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a God complex type thing. It's kind of another download I'm getting. But it feels like this deep soul level fear of like death and abandonment. I think it's abandonment, honestly. I think it's because his mom abandoned him. And I think it's because he's neurotically killed family members and killed himself. Like this is he has karma around murder and death and killing himself, killing other people, killing family. Like that's why his mom had to abandon him and leave him when he was young. Like that's why he's had so much fucked up, weird karmic stuff with his upbringing, because this guy has done some weird, crazy shit. Yes. Yeah, she's got to let this man go. Anytime she's doing something, she has to worry about him. It was the drugs. See? It was the drugs. He was on drugs, you guys. 12th house, Sun and Mercury. When he does drugs, he feels haunted. Mercury opposite Pluto and Lilith. When he does drugs, the demon within him comes out. His demonic energies. He makes himself available psychically and energetically to low vibrational negative energies that literally hijack him. They hijack his soul. They hijack his consciousness, his emotions. They hijack his thoughts. That's why this guy cannot do drugs. Mercury opposite Pluto and Lilith. When he does drugs, when he's in his 12th house, when we're under the influence, we're in our 12th house. When we are sleeping, when we're dreaming, we're in the 12th house. When we are under the influence, when we're doing drugs, we're in the 12th house. And when we're in the 12th house, that's going to make us available and open to anything. And if we don't have the protection of the divine, If we don't have a spiritual foundation, if we don't have a spiritual protection, if we don't have Jesus, Mother Mary, Buddha, somebody on the other side of the veil, even our ancestors protecting us, then guess what? We can get hijacked. Our consciousness can get hijacked, and then those dark, heavy thoughts, those scary, demonic, evil thoughts start to come in. It's like suggestion from the devil. It's like, here, like, pick up the gun, like, come on, do it. It's like this weird, energetic, malevolent suggestion that you get from like the low vibrational demonic energies. You know what I mean? It's intense, yeah. Listen, y'all, okay? I'm a Scorpio, baby. Listen, I know. All right, I got the see. I'm protected though. I got Jupiter 29 degrees. I got Jupiter in the second trine Saturn. I'm divinely protected. Whenever I've been out on one. Okay, I've been out on one. But when I was in college and I was doing my thing and exploring the spiritual medicines and stuff, like, it led me back to God. I felt so protected and so connected to spirit. It was crazy, but not everyone has that relationship. Some of us, when we do that, we go to the underworld. And him specifically, look at Mercury opposite Pluto and Lilith in the 6th house of habits. When he does drugs, he goes to the underworld. The Grim Reaper haunts him. Lilith comes to haunt him. Hades comes to haunt him. The devil comes to haunt this man when he does drugs, because he has to let it go. He does crazy things when he does drugs. He becomes a different person. This guy has multiple personality disorder. He's bipolar, multiple personality disorder. Oh my God. Like, this guy needs to get right with himself. Okay. He's scary. I'm scared for the man too. Listen, the energy the downloads I'm just getting right now about what he's gone through in the world that he was in, me stepping into his world, into his headspace, through his chart and through this. Oh no, baby. I'm good. Listen, I'm going to church. I need to go to church after this. I'm going to take a shower. Okay, I got to do some cleansing after this, because this it's the same way. Listen, when I was reading Lady Gaga's chart, when I was reading Lady Beyonce's chart, when I was reading what's his name's chart, The Weeknd's chart, I was tapping into that evil energy, baby, that malevolent fucking. And I had to go shower. I literally had to like not tap into that energy for like a day or two. I had to stop looking at it, stop researching it, because that shit is like. No, thank you, baby. I'm good. Let me go walk in the park with Jesus and Mother Mary. I'm good off that. I don't need that in my life. I don't want to tap into that energy. But he's got that energy. Like, look at the Mercury opposite Lilith and Pluto, baby. That is one aspect like this in someone's chart will be it. Will be it. Like one Pluto opposition, one Saturn opposite the sun, moon, Saturn opposite Mars, Mercury opposite Pluto, moon one of those aspects will just dominate someone's entire life. Pluto is powerful. Pluto is intense. Pluto is the underworld. Pluto is the unconscious, subconscious. Pluto is our fears and our trauma and past life energy. So whenever Pluto is touching something with an opposition, you got to ask them about that. What is that in your life? How is this manifesting? You got to start quizzing them and asking them the questions. They're not going to want to tell you, because Pluto, wherever Scorpio's at in our chart, wherever Pluto's at in our chart, and if Pluto is touching something very specific in our chart, right? Like, those are the things we don't tell people. Those are the secrets that we keep. We don't tell nobody about that. I think he got molested, actually. I think he got molested when he was growing up. That's why he's weird. That's why he's weird about sexuality and stuff. He has Pluto and Lilith in the 6th house opposite Mercury. Oh my goodness. I think this guy got molested by somebody. That's what that is too. Pluto and Lilith opposite Mercury. That looks like molestation to me. Yeah, Pluto opposite anything is going to bring this. So that's also where the bisexuality and the confusion, I feel like, around sexuality comes from, is the something about him getting molested too. Like the weird things around sexuality and stuff. That's the Lilith Pluto touching his Venus and opposite Mercury in the 12th. This could have been a stranger. This could have been, I don't know, could have been somebody close to him too. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go into any more details about that. But yeah, when Pluto's opposite Mercury, Pluto's opposite the sun, moon, Pluto is opposite Mars. Oh my gosh, that's going to be violence. So Pluto opposite Mars is extreme violence. We're actually going to, so what I was thinking of doing last night, but it was really late. I'll probably do it tomorrow because I think I only have one appointment tomorrow. We're going to break down Chris Brown's chart because Chris Brown also has a Pluto opposition, which is where we get the near death, where we get the obsession, where we get the control, where we get the you have to be mine, where we get the Romeo and Juliet. Also, straight up, almost killing a partner. Okay, like straight up violence, extreme anything, extreme depression, extreme violence, extreme suicidal thoughts, extreme tendencies. Pluto just makes it extreme, and it like brings us to the underworld. Like it's near death energy. It's uncontrollable. It's dark, heavy, you know? So I'll show you guys that with Chris Brown's chart too, because he has a Pluto opposition that's touching everything in his chart. It's crazy. But yeah, so when we have a Pluto opposition or a Pluto square, a red line from Pluto touching something in our chart, you need to ask them about that. You need to ask them about that Pluto. What is that in your life? How does it show up? Because they're not going to want to tell you. It's going to be sexual trauma. It's going to be emotional trauma. It's going to be some kind of neglect or abuse. Not his Jupiter being conjunct my Venus and our moons being conjunct. Oh yeah, baby, this is your man. Go get him. Go get him, Jersey. Go get him. Go get him. Okay, you want this karmic partner, baby? Go get him. Because listen, apparently he goes both ways. He's got Mars and Venus and Pisces. Okay, he's a Gemini rising. And she knows it. You know, it's funny because he's actually attracted to masculine energy. He's actually attracted to masculine energy. So it's funny because she's a Capricorn rising. So she's like masculine energy. Even though we see Megan Fox as being, she's very beautiful, she's very gorgeous, baby. No, she's masculine. She has Mars on the rising. She's the man in the relationship. He's the woman in the relationship. She's more like the one that's got it together, and she's like the controlling one, and she's more like the mom, where he's like the victim. You know, he could play victim or villain, but he's always playing either role. He's either playing the villain or the victim. Yes, you have to. You have to dig deeper. Yeah, you got to figure out what that square to Pluto is, or have they worked on that? What is that Pluto? What is that Pluto thing in their life? Where is it at? You know, but yeah, it's the Lilith and Pluto together for him that's giving me the sexual abuse. That's giving me the trauma. Opposite Mercury. That looks like, I don't know. Could have been. There could be weird stuff in the family. I think there's karmic stuff like incest, pedophilia stuff that runs in his family because of the Lilith and Pluto touching Mercury, and I think it's his mother's family. I think this runs in the family. I don't even. It's making me queasy, y'all. It's making me queasy. Okay. So afterwards, so I'm gonna finish reading this, and then we're gonna get into their synastry chart. We haven't even gotten to the synastry yet. All we've done so far is look at both of their charts, but we haven't even gotten to the juicy part. We haven't even laid the charts on top of each other. But I'm gonna finish this little article, then we're gonna pull up the synastry chart to see both of them. So afterwards, with guidance from both Fox and his 12-year-old daughter telling him they didn't want to be talking through a veil anymore. Talking to you through a veil anymore. Wow. Oh, talking to him through a veil anymore. Pisces moon, Venus, Mars. Like, there's like, it's like he's distanced. Like he's in a cloud. He's in when he does drugs, he's in his own reality. He's in his own reality. Yes, it could have been an uncle or an aunt. Yes, that's exactly what I got. That it was his mother's sister, or his mother's brother, or even something connected to his father. It could have been it could have been a sibling too. Honestly, with Mercury, it could have been a sibling. Yeah, an uncle or an aunt. It's Mercury in its 12th. Yeah, I was getting that too. I thought I got the down that it was like a sister, an aunt, or uncle, or a stranger. An aunt, uncle, sister, sibling, or like a stranger is what I was getting. It's 12th house. But let me finish reading this. So afterwards, with the guidance from both Fox and his 12-year-old daughter telling him they didn't want to be talking to you through a veil anymore, MGK arrived at the realization, I need to kick the drugs. He threw himself into his work instead, spending 15 or more hours a day in the studio working on music. His obsession with proving the success of his 2020 pop punk pivot, Tickets to My Downfall, wasn't an anomaly. By replicating the triumph of last year's mainstream sellout, began to weigh on those around him, subsequently pushing them away. He pushes people away, see? It's the avoidance thing that he does. It's the 12th house sun and it's the Pisces moon. The problem is I'm addicted to a new drug and that's work, MGK says. It feels like I've dug a little too deep of a hole and that I'm really in that, and I really need to get the fuck out of it and dig more into being what matters most, which is like a great father. He's a bad dad. Jupiter opposite Uranus. 12th house sun, Jupiter opposite Uranus. He's inconsistent as a father. He wants to be a good dad. He looks like a good dad on paper. The pictures look nice, but he's inconsistent. He's always addicted to something, whether it be work. Mercury opposite Pluto and Lilith. He's addicted to work, Mercury. He's addicted to drugs, Lilith, Pluto, 6th house Scorpio. He's always got to be addicted to something. The man has to figure out this desire thing that he does, this attachment, codependency thing, this obsessiveness energy. That's one thing he has to figure that out. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Like, this is like, it's not going to work, y'all. I'm already, before I even pull up their Synastry chart, it's not going to work. But let's take a look at their Synastry. Hold on. Here it is right here. Okay. So let's take a look. Okay. So this is the Synastry chart. Yeah, he is. So let's take a look at some key things. Oh no, baby. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. They have the same Mercury. They have the same Mercury to the same degree. Go look at the 12th house. So look at, he's a Gemini rising. Okay? And they got the same Mercury. So guess what? She gets pulled into that opposition with Lilith and Pluto because her Mercury is now pulled into that aspect that he already has in his chart. Twins. The same Mercury within a degree of each other. Twins. Twinsies. That he projects all of his own trauma, all that stuff around his habits, his behaviors, his addictions. He projects that onto her. That's a big no. That's a hell no. That is a hell no. It's the no. It's a no. And then making it even worse, her moon is not being nourished in any way. Look at her moon in Leo. Look at her moon in Leo. Right down there in the bottom. Right there in his 3rd house. Her 8th house. Okay? It's square his Lilith and Pluto. And it's square his Mercury. Look at the red line. Go down to the moon. Look at the red line going to Mercury. Look at the red line going to Pluto and Lilith in the 6th and in the 12th from the 3rd. Yeah, they're meant to entertain each other. They're meant to but you see, this is the thing. Look at her. Remember what I was telling you? Remember what I was saying about the Gemini, her Gemini placements. Remember what I was saying about her Venus in Gemini. Okay? And her Lilith and her Chiron in Gemini. Okay? Look at his 1st house, his Gemini rising. Look at her Lilith and her Chiron on his rising sign. Take a look at that. Take a look at his Lilith. Her Lilith, her Chiron, her deepest wound, and the thing that is uncontrollable, untamable, inconsistent in her life is his rising, is him. His rising, that's who he is. That's his personality. That's his identity. That's his first house of self. His rising is on her Lilith and her Chiron. He is karmically her deepest wound. She's dumb. She's dumb. Honest, I hate to say it. Listen, Megan, baby, you do astrology. You know his chart like the back of your hand. What the fuck are you thinking, baby? Did you not look at the Synastry chart and see this? Look. This ain't gonna work. Nothing is touching your moon. The only thing that's on the moon is the south node. The south node of loss. His south node in Leo of loss, of surrender, of letting go, of needing to detach from something. Do you know what it is? She was his mom in a previous life. That's what it is. Her moon in Leo on his south node. She was either his father or his mother in a previous life. In some way, she's connected to him on a soul level, a family level. Moon in Leo with the south node in Leo conjunction. Okay? So she feels like she can save him. And you guys, go look at the Pisces house. Go look at the Pisces house in the 10th, 3rd and the 10th. What conjunction do you see there? What conjunction do you see in the Pisces house? She thinks she could save. What did I say about she thinks she could save him? Look it. Her Jupiter in Pisces, her Savior's complex on his Venus. That looks good on paper. That is the illusion. That is the dream. That is the potential. She really feels like this guy, she loves this man. I'm going to tell you, I don't care what she doesn't even care. She loves this man. She's loved this man before. She loves this man the way a mother loves a son, unconditionally. That's what this is. She feels the love of him as a son from a previous life, the unconditional love, the self-sacrificial love, that, you know what, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. I know you're unhealthy and you're toxic. But you're my child and I love you. Yes, if we go down together. Yes. Jupiter, Venus, and Pisces. She's living a dream. She's trying to force an illusion. That's not real. It's not real. She needs to understand. She's living in a dream. And it's so crazy because you can even see she's got her Neptune in Capricorn, which is in her rising, is opposite in her 7th house of partnership. Oh, he would be a good partner. Hold on, wait. Let me make sure I'm doing that right. Yeah. His Jupiter in Cancer is in her 7th house of marriage. I can see why. This guy owes her. This guy is meant to make it up to her. He's meant to be a husband to her. His husband planet is exalted in her 7th house of marriage. And with Chiron there. But the only way he has to heal himself. That's the only way he has to heal himself. He has to get sober. He has to sacrifice and be disciplined. He has to grow up. He actually has to mature if he's going to keep her. Because she don't trust this man. She don't trust this man. I don't either, honestly. I don't blame her for not trusting him. Yep, Jupiter's the husband planet. Yep. So they have interesting Jupiter synastry. They have a Jupiter-Venus conjunction in the 10th and the 3rd. So this is like communication, talking all day. They look good on paper. You know, they're a public couple. But this is also his Jupiter in her 7th in marriage. So she wants to, that's why do you think she took it so far as to like get engaged with this guy? Why do you think they're engaged? Why would she even do that? Because his Jupiter is in her 7th house. He feels like a husband to her. His sun is in her 5th house of fun and lovers and joy with Mercury. And his Jupiter is in her 7th of marriage and husband. So of course, his sun in her 5th and his Jupiter in her 7th, it makes so much sense that she would want to marry this guy or make him a husband. Yeah, it makes so much sense. But it's not going to work. He has to go sober. He has to get himself right because his Jupiter is also opposite her Neptune. It's a dream. I think it's a delusion for her to think that this man is going to be able to get it together. I think she is attracted to unstable people. It's the Jupiter opposite Uranus and Neptune that's inconsistent, unreliable. We don't know who we're going to get today. It's she gives him husband energy, but she can't trust the man. He's not loyal. And like you were saying, he's a little jealous and envious of her, I think. I think you're right about that. I do think that he's a little jealous or envious of her. I think he does that. He projects that on everybody else. I think he's just self-sabotages and he gets into a space where he feels like everyone is his enemy and everyone is out to get him and he can't trust anybody. You know those people when they do drugs, they're just I can't trust anybody. They got to close all the blinds, you know what I mean, in the house, and they're hearing voices and they feel like the CIA is peeping at them. That's him. That's his energy. So when he's in that energy, anyone's a villain to him. Anyone, his spouse, his daughter, his family, anybody could become a villain or an enemy to him, when he's in that energy. So yeah, but just looking at these contacts, I can see why he feels good to her. I can see why she's attracted to him, but baby, he's not the one, beloved. He's a karmic partner. He is a karmic partner. Her Saturn, check this out. Her Saturn is in his 7th house of marriage and commitment, where his Jupiter is in her 7th house. So to him, he feels she's actually the Saturn. She's Capricorn rising. She's actually his Saturn in his 7th. He's here to learn, or he's not his Saturn, but her Saturn in Sagittarius is in his 7th. So she's literally the Capricorn. She's Saturn in his life. He has to commit to Saturn. He has to be disciplined. He has to be structured. She's the authority figure for him. She's his dad. Right? Is something to sing while talking? I know, right? Maybe. I don't know. I think it's my Pisces. I think it's my Pisces rising. That's funny. But yeah, she's here to teach him responsibility and authority. I think they're doing this again. I think that this is a past life connection. I do think that this guy has been her child, her son in a previous life, her sibling maybe, her brother too. They got this twinsies sibling thing going on. But, Sagittarius. I think so, yeah. Maybe, yeah. That's so funny. Well, Sagittarius what do they have in the 3rd house? Sagittarius. They have Capricorn. Sagittarius. I think it's more my Pisces Scorpio. But, yeah, so karmic partner all across the board. Karmic partner all across the board, okay? He has Saturn in Capricorn with conjunct her Mars, so he does feel like she's controlling and authoritative. Also, she feels cold to him. She feels cold to him. He needs someone more. He needs a different moon. He needs a woman that has a Virgo moon or an earthy moon or a Cancer. He needs water element. Her moon in Leo does not jive for him at all. Her moon in Leo doesn't speak to him. She's looking at him I swear, I feel I just got this image of him in crisis and freaking out, and then him expecting her to jump in and save him or whatever. And maybe she did do that for a while, but now she's just Are you done? Like, I got a movie set to go to. I got a career to build. I'm filming. Are you done? Like, she's fed up. I do feel that. I feel like her moon in Leo is not gonna put up with this. Like, she's gonna get very, very, she has to let him go. Yeah, blank stare, Capricorn rising things. Just like, okay, I'm done caring. Because caring is hurting me at this point. And you don't love or care about yourself. So why bother? This is not my work. She has to decide that he is not her project or her work. Capricorn things. You can't. That's not your work. Like, it's not your job. Okay? You can't treat a relationship like a job. Capricorn. Virgo. Capricorn, Virgo, even Taurus sometimes. Okay? You can't treat a relationship like a job. Okay? You're not here to improve. You're not Mr. Fix-It. You're not Mrs. or Mr. Clean. Okay? And that's not you. You can't do it. Don't do it. Then you're going to catch yourself in these type of situations with Hades. Okay? These type of situations with these Lilith type men, these Gemini risings. Okay? These Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces. Oh no, baby. Listen, I'm good. I don't want it. But Virgo, Leo, I'll take that. I'll give me some Virgo, Leo energy. I'll take that any day. Okay, we'll make it work. Listen, me too. I'm a savior's listen, I got a little bit of savior's complex. You come off the same as Megan. Yeah. It's just like, it's not, no expression, no emotion. It's just like just being fed up. I feel like Capricorn energy is just eternally, it's just fed up. It's just irritated. It's just like, that's what Capricorn and Libra has in common. They're just like fed up and irritated by like just other people's lack of self-responsibility, of just togetherness. Like, they're just like, get it together. Libra and Capricorn, when people are having emotional meltdowns and they're like going through crisis, Libra and Capricorn sit there and look and just like, okay, like, get it together. Like, what's going on? Like, do you need money? Like, what do you need? Like, do you want me? Like, they don't even know what to do sometimes. Like, let's just be honest. So she gives him that energy and she's fed up with him. My exact face. She's irritated with the man. She's fed up with him. Her moon in Leo, she's realizing it. So the transits that are happening, I don't expect this relationship to last beyond May, beyond the Taurus eclipse. We're going to have a full moon in Taurus. That's going to happen right on their Mercury. So the full moon in Taurus that's going to happen in May is going to hit both of their Mercuries, and it's going to hit that Pluto opposition. Oh my goodness. So, it's going to be a full moon in Scorpio. It's a new moon in Taurus, full moon in Scorpio that's happening in May. That eclipse, this relationship is not going to, yeah, baby. Yeah, if they're super Libra, you better hope there's a water placement in there that's going to get you, that's going to hit your Pisces energy. But this is not going to last. They're going to break up around the eclipse, I guarantee you. The Scorpio eclipse that's going to hit that opposition. It's going to, listen, that whole opposition, that Mercury conjunction opposite Pluto Lilith is going to get ignited. That's going to get lit up with the eclipses coming up. And with the last round of eclipses coming up in May, new moon in Taurus eclipse and then a full moon in Scorpio eclipse. I think it's just going to be the Scorpio, actually. I don't think it's going to be... Yeah, the new moon in Taurus is not going to be in the eclipse energy. Is it? Hold on. Let me see. I don't want to speak on something. Oh, yeah, it is, I think. It's going to be partial, yeah. It's going to be partial. Yeah, because it's at the early degrees, yeah. Yeah, it's at the early degrees. Yeah, so yeah, both eclipses are going to hit them. Oh, the eclipse is going to ignite that six house, 12th house axis for him. And for her, it's her 5th house, 11th house axis. So for her, the eclipses are hitting her 5th house of lovers and her 11th house of friends and social groups and ambitions. Her 5th house is also about like new creative adventures and expansion. So she's got stuff in the works. Like this energy for her, for both of them, has been really good for their careers and their business. You know, she's actually going to be doing some good things. It's in her 5th house. The eclipses are happening in her 5th and 11th. So that's typically tends to be pretty good. But the eclipse is like 5th house of lovers. She's going to have to let something go possibly. But for him, the eclipses are hitting his 6th house and his 12th house. So addiction, self-deception, self-sabotage, his habits, his behaviors. I feel like he's not going to fully go sober, or he may relapse even around then until after the eclipses possibly. Oh, that's karmic. That's past life. You guys are here to figure, oh, wow. You guys are here to figure that out. You guys have a north node, south node. So you guys are here to teach each other the opposing thing, the opposite sign. So whenever we have the same nodes as somebody but opposite, you guys are here on opposite journeys too. They're here to learn your north node, and you're here to learn their north node. So you guys are like, it's like we're karmically passing each other up to teach each other about the opposite energy. You know, it's like a drive-by. It's like, whew, we're driving by because we got to exchange something. We got to teach somebody something. So you guys, like, that's karmic. It's very karmic. So you got to see what that axis is on and what those signs are about and what houses they're falling in too, because that's going to tell you what role you guys are meant to play in each other's lives. That's very intense though. When you guys have karmic alignment like that. Like for instance, I did a reading for for instance, I'm gonna explain this. So I remember this. I did a reading where a husband and a wife, they had the same nodes but they were opposite, and they were in Cancer and Capricorn. Okay, so she had a north node in Capricorn with a south node in Cancer, and he had a north node in Cancer with the south node in Capricorn. So he wants to be a family man. He wants his wife to stay at home. North node in Cancer. He wants to be a family man. He wants things simple. And he wants to like build a family. But she has the south node in Cancer. So she's here to let go of being a mother. Let go of the mother role. That's not for her. And she's here to do her north node in Capricorn, which is be a businesswoman. So when I did a reading for her, she's like, I'm at this cross point with my marriage because I feel like me and my partner don't have the same values. He wants me to be somebody and do something that I can't, which is be a stay-at-home mom, and he's stifling my growth. I want to do this career thing. I want to go to school. I want to do business, and I can't do it because of my spouse. You see? So the fact that they have opposite nodes literally speaks to we have opposite directions. We're trying to do opposite things in our life. This person is trying to do what you already did, and the other person is trying to do what like they've already done or whatever, right? It's like this weird opposites energy. So it can be really hard when we have reverse nodes because it can feel like our lives are pulling us in opposite directions after we meet. And especially over time, that person is going to feel like they need to reach more towards that north node, and you're reaching towards that north node, but they already did that. Your north node is their south node, and their south node is your node, right? So it's like we're being pulled in it's like our karmic lives are being pulled in two different directions in some way. Does that make sense? Hopefully I explained that well. I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure that made sense. But that's what happens when you have reverse nodes with people. And you see this with parents too. You see this with parents as well. Like you see this with parents all the time. You see kids have the same nodes as their parents, and to the degree. And it's usually opposite. And what that even says is that the kid is here to accomplish something the parent didn't do. In terms of that node, in terms of that destiny. Like there's something where the mother or the father didn't achieve something, and the kid inherited that karma and feels like they're going to have to accomplish or achieve or do whatever that north node is, south node thing is, whatever it is. They're going to have to let go of something, achieve something like that. You have the north node in Capricorn? Yeah, see? So yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to explain. But yeah, so, okay, where are we at? Okay, we're 2 hours in. Okay, I need to go get food. I'm hungry. So we're going to wrap this up. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two about astrology in general. This was educational. So the point of this is to learn and to grow and to see how this works. So you can start. So like, even if you don't really understand all the meanings, all the significations or whatever, it's important that you just grasp and learn what you can. Take what sticks, whatever else doesn't, throw it out. Okay. But this is how I learned. This is how I became an astrologer, is by literally looking at charts and studying people. You got to be very curious. You got to research people. You got to you can become an astrologer just by studying rich people, famous people, people that have done things. You can literally go and look at their charts and see how their charts have manifested. You could go read an autobiography about somebody and study their chart, and that's how you learn. It's literally how you learn. So this is meant to be educational. You know what I mean? Yes. Stop. Watch out for those Pluto mutables in Mars and Venus. Stop. I can't. That is too funny. That is hilarious. I love it. You're hilarious. So I'm going to let you guys know. I think I want to go live tomorrow and do Chris Brown's chart because I've been reading a lot about the man. There's a lot coming up for him. What's coming up? We have Pisces season coming up. Oh, we're going to experience something with Pisces season. We're going to get news around them too. So with the full moon in Virgo, we're going to hear more news about them. About MGK and Megan. Because it's going to hit their Jupiter and Venus. The full moon in Virgo. So we're going to get more news about them. Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be something very public. Something very, probably involving the daughter, his career, relationship, something like that. Because the full moon in Virgo is going to hit their Jupiter and Venus conjunction. Saturn goes into Pisces, yes, in March 7th, March 8th, yeah. So, yes. Yep, for 2.5 years, yep. From 2023 going into 2025. Yeah, we have a lot of crazy energy. We have a lot of shifts. So tomorrow, what I'm going to do is we're going to go live and we're going to read Chris Brown's chart. Okay, tomorrow. So we'll do that tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. Just because I've been looking at it and I already created a little slide and everything for it because I wanted to do it last night. So we're going to do Chris Brown's chart so I can show you guys some things. With his chart, toxic male stuff, okay? The good and the bad, right? But I love you guys. Take care. Thank you for subscribing. If you have any friends or family that want to grow and expand too, tell them to subscribe, okay? Let them know, hey, you'll learn a lot. And if anything, this is fun and entertaining. You know what I mean? We had a good time. So I love you guys, okay? Have a beautiful Sunday. Enjoy yourselves. Be well. Be merry. Be happy. Be joyous. The moon's in Gemini. I got to do my moon in Gemini video. Okay? And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Okay? Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about Mars and Cancer. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that man's Mars and Cancer. Oh, Lordy. We're going to talk about it. Okay? I love you guys. Have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll let you know what time I'm going to go live tomorrow, okay? It's probably going to be closer to the afternoon, so maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I got to see what what readings. I think I do have like a reading or two tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know, okay? Just watch my stories, okay? I love you guys. Okay, bye.